Revolving firearms are recognized globally for their exceptional mechanical reliability. And when they are engineered to the highest modern standards, they become capable of launching incredibly robust and devastating cartridges. While many casual shooters are familiar with standard handguns, a significant portion of the public remains entirely unaware that certain specialized revolver cartridges possess such an immense level of destructive force that their real-world deadliness is often considered completely unreasonable. For most everyday scenarios, standard defensive calibers are more than sufficient to neutralize both human threats and common predatory animals in the wild. However, every true enthusiast eventually reaches a point where they want to move past the ordinary. They want to experience the absolute pinnacle of raw kinetic energy and concussive muzzle blast. This comprehensive review provides a deep ballistic breakdown, a practical field assessment, and a market cost analysis of the most explosive and powerful revolver cartridges available on the market today. Number 1. The .357 Magnum. When exploring the history of high-velocity handgun performance, it is only fitting to begin our analysis with a true industry legend, the .357 Magnum. This iconic round was born out of a historic mid-1930s partnership between Smith & Wesson and Winchester, officially making its commercial debut in 1935. It holds the monumental title of being the very first authentic Magnum cartridge ever developed for a wheel gun, representing a massive evolutionary leap forward from the traditional .38 Special in terms of pure muzzle velocity and terminal ballistics. From an objective engineering perspective, look at the numbers: 110 to 180 grains, 1,800 feet per second, 400 to 700 foot-pounds. This precise combination of high velocity and dense kinetic energy gives the cartridge an outstanding capability to punch deeply through heavy barriers and stop a target instantly. Whether a threat is exceptionally large or heavily clothed, this round delivers uniform, uncompromising performance across the board. The real-world utility of this caliber is thoroughly documented and universally respected by ballisticians worldwide. Subjectively, while the snap of the cartridge produces a very noticeable and intense recoil, the heavy steel frames of modern revolvers chambered for this round are excellently engineered to help the shooter maintain a firm grip and control the rearward kick. From a financial standpoint, the .357 Magnum is the most economical round on our list today. Standard range ammunition costs between 50 cents and 90 cents per round, while premium defensive hollow points or hunting loads generally retail from $1 to $1.50 per trigger pull. My personal insight on this caliber centers on its unmatched adaptability. It remains the only option in this lineup capable of safely chambering and firing lower-powered .38 Special rounds within the exact same cylinder. This unique trait makes it an incredibly versatile asset, allowing shooters to utilize low-recoil rounds for cost-effective training before switching to full-power Magnum loads for personal defense, law enforcement applications, or hunting small to medium-sized game. When deployed in the field, it is fully capable of cleanly taking down animals like deer or wild boar, provided the shooter operates within close to moderate ranges. Number 2. The .44 Magnum. Stepping further up the ladder of raw physical power brings us to a cartridge whose ballistic performance can only be described as completely fierce. Developed in the mid-1950s by the legendary firearm pioneer Elmer Keith, the .44 Magnum was purposefully engineered to break past the structural boundaries of the .357 Magnum, instantly cementing its place as one of the most powerful handgun rounds of its generation. Objectively looking at the telemetry, a standard .44 Magnum load delivers serious numbers: 180 to 300 grains, 1,500 feet per second, 1,200 foot-pounds. This immense mechanical force guarantees incredibly deep penetration and a massive energy transfer upon impacting a target, ensuring rapid and definitive incapacitation. Its wide-caliber design naturally cuts open devastatingly wide wound channels, while its high kinetic energy allows the projectile to easily smash through heavy muscle tissue, thick bones, and natural field barriers like dense brush or thick vegetation. When analyzing the retail market, the .44 Magnum requires a moderately higher investment. Bulk target loads are priced around 75 cents to $1.10 per round, while specialized high-grade hunting ammunition or solid copper projectiles routinely cost between $1.50 to $2.20 per round. Subjectively, what makes the .44 Magnum so appealing to mainstream shooters is that it occupies a perfect sweet spot between devastating field performance and actual physical manageability. Unlike the unmanageable hand cannons that exist at the absolute extreme end of the spectrum, the 4.4 Magnum delivers immense power that a dedicated marksman can actually learn to master and control with regular practice. My personal takeaway is that this cartridge is the definitive standard for wilderness sidearms. It strikes a magnificent balance that allows it to be highly effective against large animals, making it the premier choice for hunters tracking medium to large game such as deer, elk, and black bears, where a single well-placed shot is all it takes to secure safety.
Number 3. The 480 Ruger. Moving forward, we encounter a cartridge that rarely receives the mainstream media limelight it truly deserves, but in terms of pure terminal effectiveness and stopping power, it shines incredibly bright. Introduced to the public in 2003 through a joint development project between Ruger and Hornady, the 480 Ruger was explicitly engineered for wilderness survival, heavy handgun hunting, and defense against large predators. The foundational philosophy behind this round was to create a big bore cartridge that produces massive, reliable stopping power without inflicting the excruciating, wrist-punishing recoil commonly associated with monster calibers, like the 4.54 Casull or the 5-100 Smith & Wesson. Objectively evaluating the data, a modern revolver chambered in 480 Ruger, such as the robust Ruger Super Red Hawk, puts up massive specs. 275 to 410 grains, 1,300 feet per second, 1,500 foot-pounds. Because it utilizes a remarkably large permanent diameter, the physical wound channels it carves through a target are naturally massive, driving deep into vital organs and causing immense structural damage. Financially, because this round is a specialized, niche caliber, it commands a premium price tag on store shelves. Shooters should expect to spend anywhere from $1.40 to $2.50 per round for standard factory configurations, while top-tier hard cast loads from specialized custom manufacturers can easily reach $3.50 to $4 per pull of the trigger. Subjectively, the shooting experience of the 480 Ruger is highly unique. Rather than the sharp, painful sting found in high-velocity rounds, it delivers a heavy, rolling push that keeps the firearm firmly in your hands. My personal take on this caliber is that it represents an incredibly smart, highly practical piece of ballistic engineering. It offers a beautiful harmony of immense big bore power and manageable recoil, allowing an experienced outdoorsman to execute rapid, accurate follow-up shots without risking physical injury to their wrists, making it a stellar companion when tracking dangerous game like elk, moose, and large bears. Number 4. The 4.54 Casull. When the focus of a discussion turns toward extreme velocity, hard-hitting impact, and absolute deadliness, the legendary 4.54 Casull must be brought to the forefront. This heavy-duty round was developed as the brilliant brainchild of custom gunsmiths Dick Casull and Jack Fulmer, who engineered it with a singular, uncompromising purpose: to achieve absolute explosiveness and unprecedented power out of a revolver platform. It completely overshadows the mainstream 4.4 Magnum in terms of raw physical force, delivering performance metrics that seem almost impossible when placed side by side with standard defensive options like the 9mm. Objectively checking the ballistics, the 4.54 Casull operates at incredibly high internal pressures, 240 to 360 grains, 1,600 to 1,900 feet per second, 1,900 foot-pounds. This high-velocity profile ensures unmatched energy transfer and deep penetration even at extended distances, allowing the bullet to tear deep into muscle tissue, shatter thick bones, and instantly ruin vital internal organs. In terms of market pricing, operating a firearm in this caliber requires a significant financial commitment. Standard boxes of ammunition retail between $1.80 to $2.50 per round. Subjectively speaking, the 4.54 Casull is an absolute beast that cannot be handled casually. Its intense recoil impulse and deafening muzzle blast demand a highly skilled, experienced shooter with an incredibly firm grip and proper stance to handle the firearm effectively. Massive, heavy frame wheel guns like the Taurus Raging Bull or the Ruger Super Red Hawk are purposefully built with cushioned grips and integrated porting to help tame this ferocious kick. but the overall experience remains deeply intimidating. Personally, I find the practical daily utility of this round to be quite low for the average citizen. However, it becomes an invaluable insurance policy if you are intentionally venturing into deep backcountry territories filled with aggressive predators or hunting massive wild boars, where the swift and destructive nature of the Casull is guaranteed to neutralize a threat instantly. Number 5. The 5-100 Smith & Wesson Magnum. Finally, we arrive at the absolute pinnacle of handgun destruction, a cartridge so unbelievably massive that it completely redefines what a sidearm is capable of achieving. Co-developed through a partnership between Smith & Wesson and Corbon and launched in 2003. The 5-100 Smith & Wesson Magnum stands unchallenged as arguably the most powerful production handgun cartridge on the face of the earth. The physical numbers behind this monster are nothing short of shocking. It possesses a highly flexible loading capability, 275 to 700 grains, 2,300 feet per second, 2,600 foot-pounds. This extreme force results in a massive wave of hydrostatic shock upon impact, completely disrupting vital bodily systems and causing widespread tissue destruction, even if the bullet does not directly strike a critical organ. Financially, the 5-100 Magnum is easily the most expensive cartridge on the consumer market today. Prices start around $2.50 and quickly escalate up to $4.50 or more for a single pull of the trigger. Subjectively, firing this round is a brutal, punishing experience that should never be attempted by anyone who lacks professional training or flawless shooting technique. The massive muzzle blast is completely concussive, and it requires an exceptionally large, heavy revolver like the Smith & Wesson Model 500 just to safely contain the immense pressures. My personal assessment is that the 5-100 Magnum is absolute overkill for any standard personal defense scenario, making it entirely impractical for daily use. However, if your mission requires you to hunt the largest game animals on the planet, including massive moose, brown bears, or dangerous African game like the Cape buffalo, this cartridge provides an absolute guarantee of rapid, decisive stopping power when your life depends on it. In conclusion, examining the world of high-power revolver cartridges reveals an incredible spectrum of mechanical capability, moving from the historical versatility of the 3.57 Magnum up to the 3.57 Magnum. Terrifying, boundary-pushing energy of the 5-100 Smith & Wesson. When deciding which caliber best fits your lifestyle, it is absolutely essential to look past pure bravado and honestly evaluate your actual physical control, your training dedication, and your ammunition budget. While the largest Magnum options provide an exhilarating experience at the range and unmatched security against massive predators, they require a lifetime of discipline to truly master. Choose the cartridge that aligns perfectly with your practical environment. Invest heavily in mastering your shooting form and always maintain the utmost respect for the immense power of these incredible tools.